Alright guys, we are looking at the sheet that says Vertex Form Part 1. And I'm going to review with you some of these problems, and then I'm going to make a video for Part 2, and then I'm going to leave a paper key. So not all the problems are in the video. So when we are going from polynomial form to vertex form, our goal is to make a perfect square trinomial with the first two terms. So here are the steps. The first thing that we're going to do is just put parentheses around the first two terms. So in this first one, x squared plus 4x. We're going to leave the minus 1 outside of parentheses. All right, so next, our goal is to figure out how to do what we call complete the square. So I'm going to look at this. I'm going to take the number of my second term. I'm going to divide it by 2 and square it. And that's going to be the number that would complete this square. So if I have x squared plus 4x, 4 divided by 2 is 2, 2 squared is 4 again, so plus 4. This sign is always positive of this like third number we're sticking in here, because no matter what the sign of that is, when you square it, you'll get a positive. All right, so then I write my minus 1 out here, and then I can't just like add the number 4 to the right side of an equation. So to undo just this adding of 4 out here, we're also going to subtract 4. All right, so now the next step, I think everything else is a little bit easier. We basically can go now to vertex form and then combine our like terms over here. So when I go to factor this, you could do the factoring x if you want. So a times c is 4, b is also 4. What two numbers multiply to 4 and add to 4? We know it's 2 and 2. You should get the same number every time. It's always going to be the square root of this number. So I'm going to write x plus 2 squared, and then I'm going to combine these like terms. Negative 1 minus 4 is minus 5. So you can either factor it this way, or you could just take the square root of this and get the sign from here. So we get x from x squared, sign from that second term. The 2 came from the square root of 4. All right, let's do a few more examples together, and then I'll leave you a paper key, and then there's a second video that goes with part 2. All right, so in number 2, same thing. I want to do put parentheses around the first two terms, and then I'm gonna start to rewrite this out here. I know I'm going to keep my x squared minus 12x. I'm going to take this number and divide it by 2. Half of negative 12 is negative 6. Negative 6 squared is positive 36. So I'm going to add 36 in there. I'm going to add 6 out here from, I'm just bringing that down. And then lastly, this is the step people forget sometimes, I've got to subtract the 36 from here, because these have to really cancel out. Can't just go adding 36s wherever I feel like it. All right, so then we factor this. So square root of the first, so the square root of x squared is just x. Sign of that middle term, since this is subtraction, I need subtraction down here. The square root of 36 is 6. So I'm going to get x minus 6 squared. Then when I combine this over here, positive 6 minus 36 is negative 30. So that is my vertex form for number 2. All right, let's look at number 3. For number 3, we've got, again, parentheses around the first two terms. I'm going to copy my x squared plus 6x. I'm going to divide this number by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Then I'm going to square it. 3 squared is 9. That's completing the square. I'm going to bring down my plus 20, and then because I added 9, I have to subtract 9 out here, and then I'm going to go through and factor that. So square root of the first is x. Sign of that middle term, it's positive, so I'm going to write plus. The square root of 9 is 3, so this becomes x plus 3 squared. 20 minus 9 is 11, so it's positive 11, and that's going to be my vertex form. And again, if in doubt, if you get mixed up with the factoring, just factor it the regular way. and you're looking for numbers that multiply to 9 and add to 6, you're going to get 3 and 3. So instead of x plus 3 times x plus 3, we write x plus 3 squared so that we can read that vertex form later. All right, we're going to look at just a couple more examples, and then I'm going to leave the rest of this for you to finish. You're going to show me this on Friday before our mastery test. All right, number 4. In number 4, again, parentheses around the first 2. Copy x squared plus 12x. Half of 12 is 6. 6 squared is 36. Plus 11 minus 36, so that those cancel out. Factor, square root of the first is x. Sign of the second term is positive. Square root of the third term is 6. 11 minus 36. Ooh, I'm really bad at doing math in my head. So that's going to be the same as 36 minus 11, but it's going to be negative. So 36 minus 11. Oh my gosh, you would think that your math teacher could subtract 25. So this is going to be minus 25 because it was really 11 minus 36. All right, number 5. Same thing, put these in parentheses. X squared minus 10x. Half of negative 10 is negative 5. Square that, you get positive 25. Always positive when we square it. Bring down the plus 35, and then subtract 25 to compensate so that we're not just adding 25s wherever we feel like it. If we could just go adding numbers to whatever we wanted to, my bank account would be a lot higher. All right, square root of the first, sine of the second, square root of the third. So x minus 5 squared. 35 minus 25 is a positive 10. All right, so I want you to finish the Vertex form part 1 sheet and then check it. I will leave a key with our substitute. And then after that, there is a video for Vertex form part 2, which I think you'll need to watch because we're going to see what we have to do when this is not a 1 in front of x squared. Good luck.